Hi Year 5! It's time for the spelling and handwriting lesson. As always, before we get started, can you please make sure that you've got yourself a pencil and a piece of paper ready for our learning today? Now, before we get stuck in, let's take a look at the Spelling Shed leaderboards and see which class is in the lead and how many points they've got. Let's take a look. So in first position we have 5p with a whopping score of 42,089,966. In second place we have 5w with 25,328,894. In third place we have 5t with a score of 17,063,212. And in fourth place we have 5e with 13,297,443 points. Well done to all four classes. The leaderboard has changed quite a lot so far this week. I wonder what will happen later in the week as you log on and practice your spellings on Spelling Shed. So I'm awarding 5p a whole class dojo point for enjoyment. Well done 5p. Here is your starter test this morning, Year 5. Liam has had a go at his spelling words before his test tomorrow, but he's not sure if he's got them all right. Could you mark his spellings and give him a score out of 9, correcting any words that he has spelt incorrectly? For the extra spicy chili challenge this morning, could you write any top tips or perhaps even our spelling rule that we're looking at this week, which will help Liam to remember his spellings for tomorrow? Pause the video now, but make sure you join me back here afterwards to go through the answers. Okay, welcome back. How'd you get on? Did you find out how many Liam got correct? Oh, well done Year 5, I'm so glad you're here to help. That's right, Liam only got 4 of his spellings correct. But that's okay, because he's still practicing. I noticed that he'd got knife spelt correctly, but night, he had the wrong type of sound in here. He needed the IGH trigraph, and he just put ITE. For knuckle, he forgot that silent K. Oh, goodness me, that would have made that one correct. For writer, he spelt the wrong type of right. This spelling of the word right is if you've got something correct, whereas this writer is when we write something in our English book. He got wrinkle correct, and wrestler, he missed the W. He got wreckage correct and wreath correct, but knowledge he didn't quite get correct. He put no ledge. He thought about how it sounded rather than the letters that he needed to use. I know for the extra spice chili you could have written the rule as silent K before N and silent W before R. So let's remind ourselves of our rule for this week. The K becomes a silent letter if it comes before the letter N. So for example, in night, knuckle, knowledge and knife, we don't hear the letter K. We hear that it sounds like it starts with an N. In these words over here, the W becomes a silent letter if it comes before the letter R. So in writer, wreckage, wrestler, wrinkle and wreath, we can't hear the W at the start of the word. Instead it sounds like it starts with an R. Here are your spelling words for this week. And given the opportunity, if you haven't already, to copy them down, ready to practice them for our spelling test tomorrow. Okay, let's move on, Year 5. Here's a little task for you to complete. A bit like we did earlier in the week, we're going to say the word, shout the word, clap the syllables in the word, and then I want you to have a go at body spelling it, which I'll show you as an example in a moment. For the extra spicy chili challenge, how many other words can you think of or find that have the silent letter K or W at the start of the word? So are there many other words that follow the same rule that we've looked at this week that aren't on the lists that we've got for our spellings? So as an example, I'm going to model it and be like my turn for what you need to do for this activity. So I'm going to say a word. Let's do the word knife. Knife. I'm going to shout the word knife. I'm going to clap the word knife, and I'm going to body spell the word, which I'll show you as an example on the screen now. As you can see, I've used my body to create the different letters inside that word, and then I've drawn over them with a pen. So as you can see, my body here is spelling the word knife. Pause the video now, Year 5, and have a go at doing that for your spelling list. Welcome back, Year 5. How'd you get on with that? Did you manage to find the syllables in all the words? Did you manage to body spell all of them? Were some of them really quite tricky? I imagine the G would have been one of the trickiest ones to have done. Don't forget, you can send me your pictures of you body spelling your words to our Year 5 email address. I'd love to see the different shapes that you managed to get yourself into while you got active practicing the spellings. Okay, here's another strategy that we can have a go at today. This is spelling scramble. As you can see on this side of the screen, I've had a go at using the spelling words in the list to create a spelling scramble. That's when we write the word, so I started with wreckage, and then we find a letter that would connect to another word. So here I wrote writer because the E in wreckage I know is also in writer. In the word writer, I then looked for another letter from my spelling list that I might be able to join to, and that meant I could use the I for knife. Finally, I looked at the word wreath because that began with a W and I could put it just down here. I wonder if I could add any more words to my spelling scramble though. Here's a challenge, Year 5. Can you make a spelling scramble with all of your spelling words from the spelling list this week? Pause the video now and give this a go as your activity. Okay, welcome back. I'm glad you had a go at that. It's a really good way to practice thinking about the letters that are in our spelling words. Okay, we're now going to move on to the handwriting part of this video. I'm going to go through these two warm-ups. Come and join me while I show you how to do them at home or at school. Okay then Year 5s, this is your first handwriting warm-up for today. You're going to need to get yourself a peg or perhaps even some chopsticks, or you could use 2 pens together if you haven't got a peg at home. And then you're going to need either some pom-poms or some pasta shapes, or if you haven't got that at home, you could get some scrunched up bits of kitchen foil and use that instead. And what you're going to have to do is using your thumb and first finger on your writing hand, so not, I write with my right hand, so I'm going to put my left hand behind my back. You're going to squeeze the peg to open it, pick up your pom-pom and place it into the bowl. And you're going to repeat that for all of the different pom-poms or things or pieces you've got at home. So if you've got pasta piece, you pick those up instead as well. Now, if you want to make this more challenging, what you could do is you could time yourself putting the items into a bowl or into a circle if you haven't got a bowl at home, and see how fast you can do it. Okay, so for the second handwriting warm-up today, all you're going to need are your hands. This is finger piano. So starting with the hand you write with first, so again that's my right hand, I'm going to place it down the table. And all I need to do is start with my thumb, tap each finger in turn, work forwards and backwards. Now see if you can get faster at that, making sure you only put one finger down at a time. Then try it with your opposite hand. So this is the hand I don't write with. So try it with your opposite hand. That's a bit trickier for me. It's not what I'm used to doing that with. If you want to make it more challenging, you can try it with both hands and see if you can get them at the same time as each other. So see if you can press the thumb down at the same time, the first finger, and then see how fast you can go. Give those a go and see if they warp your hands, ready for your handwriting practice. So today the two robot arm letters that we're working through are B and P. One is an ascender and one is a descender, and we join both in and out of both of these letters. So come and join me now while I show you how to practice your B's and P's. Okay, so today we are focusing on B and P. Now, one of these letters is an ascender and the other one is a descender. So I'm going to start with the B first. So it starts at the top of the red line and go all the way down to the bottom of the blue, back up and round, we hit the top blue line and we go all the way around to meet it at the bottom. Let's try that again. Down from the top of the red line to the bottom of the blue, up when we hit that blue line there, we curve round and meet at the bottom. And let's try it once more. Down, back up, over and round. Can you have a go at doing your B's? Okay, the next letter we're going to have a look at is the P. Now this is a robot arm letter but a descender, so it's going to go down rather than up. So we're going to start at the top of the blue line this time, going all the way down to the bottom red line, back all the way up to the top of the blue where we started and round to the bottom blue here. Let's try that again. Top of the blue, all the way down to the bottom red, all the way back up, round to meet here and stop. Let's do it once more. Fantastic. Can you have a go at your P's? Okay, so I'm going to have a go now at putting B and P into two words, and I'm going to handwrite so you can see how they're joined. But you will notice that B and P are not in any of our spelling words this week. So I've picked two other words. I wonder what you'll notice about these two words though. Maybe when you say them aloud after I've written them, you might notice something about them. It's similar to what we're looking at this week. So the first word is climb. Now that starts with C. So C, L, always top in the centre. I, M, which I looked at yesterday. And then B. Dot the I. Okay, and for P, we are looking at the word receipt. Receipt. So I'm going to have a go at that. It's got my R in, so it's starting with an R. R, E, C, E, I, P, and then T, and then cross the T afterwards and dot the I. Can you have a go at those two words? And can you see what is similar in those words to our spelling word this week? Climb and receipt. So before we finish today's lesson, just a quick reminder of how to access your spellings on Spelling Shed. Now the lists have been set slightly differently this week, and you'll have noticed they come up differently on your screens too. You'll have a silent letters 9, which is blue group, a silent letters 7, which is green group, and if you go into more lists, you'll have a silent letters 5, which is red group. You can just do the spelling list that is for your spelling group, or if you would like to earn more points on Spelling Shed, then you can complete all of the different spelling lists on there. I wonder what the leaderboard will look like once the Spelling Shed lists have been completed. I'll be checking in tomorrow's lesson for the top classes and the top children in the year band, so get practicing on Spelling Shed, guys, and earning those points. One last reminder as well that our spelling test is tomorrow, Friday the 29th of January. As always, please remember to send in any work you've completed from today's lesson into our Year 5 email address. I'd love to see your super handwriting and spelling. And that brings us to today's lesson, Year 5. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you're practicing your spellings at home and thinking really carefully about those handwriting joins. Tomorrow is our spelling test, so make sure you've been practicing, ready for that. Don't worry though, we'll have one more practice of our spellings before we get on to our test tomorrow. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!